Hey everybody, I'm Slothastic and welcome on Balto Family Tree episode 2. If you didn't watch the episode 1, you can click on the little card that will appear here, and I suggest you to watch the episode 1 first. I hope you will enjoy, so let's start now. Ending up reaching the town of Nome, Balto grew up there with his adoptive father, Boris the Goose. At least he got to grow up in a safe place away from the crazy wolf Capik, who supposed Balto was dead by now. How such a little pup would have survived alone in the coldness of winter? Returning to her lands, Capik met a strange wolf going by the name of Omega. She couldn't deny the fact that she crushed on him at the first sign, promising to make him an alpha if he promised her to team up with her in return. The male accepted, and Capik introduced him to her father, who approved him mostly because he believed that if his daughter was getting a male, she would leave his pack once for good. What actually happened is that Omega, to prove his loyalty to Capik, got a mission: killing Chase. Something that Capik herself couldn't do since she would always fail. It's how Omega became friends with his victim. Finding out that Chase had indeed a family, and it obviously wasn't Anu and Balto but a wolf going by the name of Rags and their puppy Flip. Informing Capik about his discovery, the two evil wolves made up a plan in order to get rid of Chase and his family for good. Capik killed Chase's son while Omega killed Chase's female. After that, Omega ran to Chase, warning him that an accident happened. Chase rushed to his den. He got trapped by Capik, who, with her mate's help, finally succeeded in killing her brother. From now on, the evil wolf knew she could trust her mate, and soon they got their first baby, Atlas, and a year or two later they got Niju. As time passed, Nava's pack grew bigger and bigger. But as he welcomed new members, the sage wolf heard what happened to his twin sister. The dark wolves went too far on that. Even if Nava wasn't the kind of wolf who enjoyed going on war against other packs, this time it was different. If the dark wolves weren't stopped, many other wolves' packs could suffer from their cruelty. The news of Chase's death confirmed Nava's plan, making a stop to the dark wolves' craziness by getting rid of them. Followed by his strongest wolves, Nava walked to the Dark Wolves' territory and fought them. Meanwhile, in Nome, Balto grew up mostly only around Boris, as other dogs rejected him for being half-wolf. Wolves were feared by humans, and so dogs couldn't be friends with the wolves, especially since wolves would attack and kill everybody. That's only what everybody believed. So, from afar, Balto watched. He observed how dogs were playing and were having fun sledding. Obviously something he would never do. His idol was that dog, that Siberian husky going by the name of Togo. Togo was literally the best. Everybody knew it in town. Especially a young Malamute named Steel who wished to get better than Togo one day, to become Nome's best champion, something Balto hated. Actually, he just couldn't stand still. First because that dog was rude to him, always making fun of him, but on top of that, he was disrespectful toward Togo. It's one day, as Steel was mocking Togo with his friends, that Balto snapped, catching his idol's attention. Later that day, Togo went to the wrecked ship where Balto was living to have a talk with his biggest fan. Days passed, and somewhat, Togo and Balto got friends, even if Togo was a lot older than the wolf dog. Teaching Balto things about sledding, Togo was convinced that one day Balto would do great things in his life. One day, things went bad for the town of Nome. All kids got this sickness impossible for doctors to heal due to the lack of medicine. The only way was to send dogs to pick up the antidote in a bigger town. Togo's musher was the first one to be asked for this mission, since he was known to be the best with Togo. But Togo was old, and this new mission could end up badly. Though, Togo's team left Nome to get the medicine. After running 261 miles in terrible condition, the Siberian Husky got the antitoxin. But back in Nome, days had passed, and Togo was still not back. Scared that something might have happened to the dog, a new team got selected to go after Togo in order to get the medicine quicker. A sort of relay race. The second best team was, of course, Steele's. And that's how the Malamute left with his dogs to get the precious antidote. After a few days of running under the snowstorm, Steele finally reached Togo, who indeed was very tired. Seeing his dog tired and scared the Siberian Husky wouldn't make it back to Nome, Togo's musher gave the antitoxin to Steele for the younger dog to bring it back to the doctors. Running back to Nome, Steele's pack got suddenly blocked in the mountains, and their musher went unconscious after a little accident. Meanwhile, Togo got back to Nome, but when people figured out Togo was back without the antidote since he gave it to Steele, they all knew something bad happened. It's how Balto decided to leave and go after Steele to help. When Balto finally reached Steele, the Malamute refused to give the medicine to Balto. Fighting together, Balto won, and after discussing with Steele's team, the dogs, led by Balto, left, returning to Nome. It took them some time, but they all finally got back in time to save the kids. After that day, Balto got respect from people in town. He got more accepted, and of course, Jenna confessed her love to him. And together, they got puppies: Dakota, Saba, Dingo, Alu, Cody, and Kiona. But as their baby were growing up, Balto and Jenna got worried for one of their daughters, Alu. Indeed, the little girl was acting much more like a wolf than a dog, something Balto refused to accept, reminding him of his past when people were blaming him for his genes. But when all the puppies got adopted except Alu, her parents understood their daughter will never be accepted. From there, Balto decided to take her with him to raise her. The more time passed, the more Alu was driven to the wilds. She felt the need to discover who she is. She was convinced to be more than a dog, despite what her father was saying. Following Alu in her adventure to protect her, Balto discovered more about himself and Alu. If he was more a dog than a wolf in his heart, the younger wolf was more a wolf than a dog in her heart. Their adventure got them to Nava's lands. First time Alu got to meet real wolves, and of course the first one she met were Nuk, Yak, and Sumac, Ninju's followers. Indeed, Ninjus got welcomed into Nava's pack after the war between Nava's clan and the Dark Wolves. Nava didn't felt like killing Ninju, who back then was just a baby. He believed that raising him correctly, teaching him respect and honor would make him turn into a good wolf. If Ninju was nice at first, the more he grew up and the older Nava got, made the descent of the Dark Wolf more rude. He clearly wanted to become the alpha, but Nava's wolves were loyal toward the older wolf, reason why most of them never followed Ninju. Seeing Alu coming on their land felt like a threat for Niju. She was young and she had this alpha temper. Plus, for some reason, Nava seemed to like the female. Not in a romantic way, but in a way he could easily give her the alpha title. When Alu exposed her opinion on the problem Nava's pack was facing, the caribou herd moved across the ocean, which meant no food for the pack during winter. To Alu, the wolves needed to cross the ocean to leave these lands, but Niju refused to leave his homelands. The best way to survive, according to him, was to steal the food from the other animals. Something Balto stopped. Alu's idea seemed much better. Firstly led by Balto, the wolf dog quickly understood his daughter was meant to be the leader of this mission. It was time for him to let her go, even if it was hard. Balto said goodbye to his daughter and stayed there with Nava, who was too old to cross the ocean. Niju, on his side, refused to cross the ocean. There was no way he would leave his homeland. Never. Running into the forest, Niju disappeared. He got joined by Nava once the older wolf said bye to Balto. Nava wouldn't let Niju alone because even if the younger wolf wasn't always nice, Nava considered him as his son, sort of, since he pretty much raised him. Watching his daughter disappearing in the distance, Balto didn't have anything else to do but going back to Nome, where Jenna was probably waiting for him. It took a few days for Balto to finally come back home. He had mixed feelings. He was sad for letting Alu go, yet he was happy she finally found where she belonged to. How would Jenna react? The red husky got of course sad when she heard about the news. The worst was that she didn't get to say goodbye to her daughter, but she has always known Alu belonged elsewhere, to the wildlife. Not too long after Balto returned, their son Kodiak got enrolled in the U.S. mailing delivery as the leader of his sled. Of course, the young Husky was happy and his parents were really proud of him, especially Balto, who would have liked to be a sled dog. His team was composed by Kirby, Dusty, and Ralph. Dusty was Togo's granddaughter, so she was pretty good at sledding and a lot loyal, just like her grandfather. One day, a man called Duke arrived in Nome with his plane, claiming he was there to replace the dog sleds because his plane was faster. Of course, Cody didn't like this news at all. Delivering mail was his job. He didn't want to lose his job because of an iron bird. Challenging the blonde man in a race between the dog sled and the plane, the dogs returned a few days later. The dogs won the race. Problem: where was Duke and his plane? Suspecting a problem, Balto, who was friends with Duke, decided to go find him in the mountain. Cody refused to go help, which made Jenna pretty upset, disappointing that he valued his job over a human life. After getting scolded, Kodiak finally accepted to go after Balto in order to help him. But the wolf dog was already gone for a moment and had already found the pilots unconscious. Trying to hold him back in Nome, the half wolf almost fell in a canyon with the weak man, but hopefully his son and his team arrived just in time to rescue them and take them back to town. For this rescue, Cody's sled got prized as heroes. When Duke got better, weeks later, he built a new B-plan he called the Balto Flyer. After all these adventures, Balto and Jenna stayed together for the rest of their lives, as in love as they were. Kodiak and Dusty eventually fell in love together, but unfortunately broke up before even getting babies together. Alu reached the new lands with her pack, mating with that red and white wolf named Vine. The couple got a few puppies and together led the pack pretty well. Niju and Nava stayed together until Nava joined his twin sister, Anu, in the afterlife. After that, the dark wolf hare wandered in the woods, alone, ready for no good. This was the last episode of Balto Family Tree. I hope you enjoyed this mini-series. If you did, please leave a like. Tell me whatever you want to tell me, what you think, what is your theory on Balto's family tree in the comments. Don't forget to share this video and the first part if you enjoyed it. It's important to share because your friends can be interested too. And if you are not subscribed yet, mind subscribing to my channel and click on the notification bell to get notified every time I post a new video. I'm gonna see you soon guys for another video. Bye bye and take care.